Thank you very much.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to the indictment of your former campaign aide, Steve Bannon?
Well, I feel very badly. I haven't been dealing with him for a long period of time, as most of the people in this room know. He was involved in our campaign. He worked for Goldman Sachs. He worked for a lot of companies, but he was involved likewise in our campaign and for a small part of the administration very early on. I haven't been dealing with him at all. I know nothing about the project other than I didn't like, when I read about it, I didn't like it. I said, this is for government, this isn't for private people. And it sounded to me like showboating, and I think I let my opinion be very strongly stated at the time. I didn't like it. It was showboating and maybe looking for funds, but you'll have to see what happens. I think it's a very sad thing for Mr. Bannon. I think it's surprising, but this was something, as you know, just by reading social media and by reading whatever it is and by speaking to Mike and all of them, I didn't like that project. I thought that was a project that was being done for showboating reasons. I don't know that he was in charge. I didn't know any of the other people either. But it's sad. It's very...
Respectfully, sir, it's not just Steve Bannon. It's Roger Stone, it's Michael Flynn, it's Rick Gates, Paul Manafort, Michael Cohen. What's it say about your judgment that these are the kind of people
well,
that
I
you're
have no
affiliated
idea.
with, and the culture of lawlessness around people who are
there was
involved
great
in the leadership
lawlessness
of
in the
your
Obama
campaign?
administration. They spied on our campaign illegally. And if you look at all of the things and all of the scandals they had tremendous lawlessness. But I know nothing about, I was not involved in the project. I have no idea who was. But I can tell you, I didn't know the people, the three people that were talked about were people that I did not know. I don't believe I ever met them. I don't think that should be a privately financed wall. I don't think.
Okay, let me jump in here. I'm trying to get ready for today's show to actually put the entire show together, but I knew in the first breaking news video today, we knew that Donald Trump was going to try to distance himself from Steve Bannon. Two things happened in this clip that we just watched. Number one, he tried to distance himself from Steve Bannon by saying he played a small role in the administration. To be fair, initially it sounded like he said that Steve Bannon played a small role, period. But what he was saying was he played a small part in the White House administration in terms of a time frame. But that's immaterial. The fact of the matter is Steve Bannon was his closest advisor, right? His absolute closest advisor who literally carried him to the White House and was a part of the White House. It was Steve Bannon. Donald Trump cannot deny that Steve Bannon was his closest confidant in his election, as well as in and outside of the White House. Steve Bannon knew that he could be more effective for Donald Trump outside of the White House, which is what he stated as he made his exit from the White House. Unbelievable that actually, let me take that back. It is very believable that Donald Trump would now try to distance himself from Steve Bannon because this is what he does every single time. Which goes to the second part of the video. Michael Flynn, Steve Manafort, or Paul Manafort, now Steve Bannon, a litany of people who have been associated with Donald Trump with a culture of lawlessness. And Donald Trump then blames President Obama for the culture of lawlessness that is in his administration. Donald Trump actually pivoted from all of the top tier individuals who have been indicted, and in some cases, imprisoned, and the only reason they're not in prison right now is because he gave them a pardon. He blamed that on President Obama. Absolutely asinine and unbelievable. This is a man-child. He is a baby. We have a baby in the White House who is a criminal, right? He is a criminal baby, and he cannot take responsibility for anything that he says, anything that he does, or the criminal behavior of the people that he picks, the best and the brightest, right? He always brags on his ability to bring the best people into the White House. And here we are. We see clear as day that Donald Trump has brought nothing but criminals to the White House. He ran on draining the swamp. He's filled the swamp with more criminals. He himself is a criminal. His son-in-law is fleecing America. Jared Kushner is fleecing America. And here he is blaming President Obama. I just want to play that one portion where he blames President Obama. Listen.
Respectfully, sir, it's not just Steve Bannon. It's Roger Stone, it's Michael Flynn, it's Rick Gates, Paul Manafort, Michael Cohen. What's it say about your judgment that these are the kind of people
well,
that you're
I have no
affiliated
idea.
with, and the culture of lawlessness around people
Well,
who were
no, there was
involved in
great
the leadership of your
lawlessness in the
2016
Obama
campaign?
administration. They spied on our
Come on.
campaign illegally. And if you look at all of the things and all of the scandals they had tremendous lawlessness. But I know nothing about, I was not involved in the project. I have no idea who was. But
Except his picture, except the fact that his chief strategist, his closest confidant. Now, I don't know to what extent, if any, if there's any connection whatsoever to Donald Trump in this campaign in terms of like actual money trail, in terms of him actually having made any money off of this. I don't think anyone is making that claim at this juncture. But for him to say he had no idea about it, his closest confidant was a part of this to the tune of $1 million, this grift to the tune of $1 million for himself personally. It was a total of $20 million that they grifted from the American people. And when I say the American people, I mean the conservatives who were ignorant enough to believe that these guys had good intentions for them. It's absolutely astonishing. I want to pull this up, not this one. I want this. He knew nothing about it. You can't tell me that you have a campaign that raised $20 million from 337,000 people in 25 days that has your picture with your thumb up that you knew nothing about it when the chief strategist, your best friend, your ace boon coon, Steve Bannon, was a part of the organization and is now indicted. Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Michael Cohen, Rick Gates, and now Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's closest confidants. So again, this is just an update to the news that broke earlier today that Steve Bannon has been arrested. So again, this is just an update to the breaking news that Steve Bannon has been arrested on fraud charges, indicted and arrested on fraud charges to the tune of some $20 million that they raised from over 300,000 people for the purposes of building the border wall. And they used that money for their personal gain. And Steve Bannon himself received somewhere around $1 million for his own personal gain. The president of the United States rejecting any responsibility, any culpability for it. Fine, that's fine. Maybe he didn't know anything about that specifically, but to try to distance himself from Steve Bannon, who was his number one strategist, and then to try to blame President Obama, absolutely asinine.